We are live on the air, and I appreciate all you guys being here. Howdy to you, and I hope you are having a beautiful, beautiful Friday. It is Friday, 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 Friday. So hopefully you're enjoying this Friday evening, and I appreciate you spending the time with all of us. Now, I'm going to address a couple of things because some of you probably have already noticed that, yes, I do have a different background. And so here is a reason for that. So I'm just going to tell you all. I'm going to let it all. I'm going to tell you everything that's going on. As most of you know, I do have a green screen usually behind me. Now, the problem with that is it was nice. It was nice. You can add whatever you want kind of background to it. Well, that was nice. But Apple decided that it wanted to update to the latest, whatever update it is, whatever this update is, the brand new update, Monterey. That's Mac OS Monterey. Well, Apple, now that you've done that, because I run the show here on my iMac. So I run it on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and Twitch and all that stuff here. And then I run on my old iPad. I run it here on my TikTok. Well, Mr. Apple, I updated my iMac. And of course, it screwed everything up. Of course. So now my little webcam, when I have it on green screen and I move, you can see the green and it's choppy. It's very choppy. And I've done everything. I've reduced everything you can possibly reduce online, everything. And that's not it. That's not it. It is because I've updated Monterey. And because I've updated Monterey, now it's screwed everything in my iMac up. I'm telling you, this is just so frustrating. It irritates the hell out of me because I just, when you update something, this is exactly, and I know this has nothing to do with paranormal, but just bear with me for a second because I got to get this off my chest because I'm furious about this. But Mary says it's the same way when you update Windows stuff. But I got to tell you, this is exactly why I went to Apple, because I had Windows and it kept messing everything up on an update. So I said, this is too much. So I went to Apple, and about 20 years ago, and it was beautiful. Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful. Everything worked. Everything worked like it should. And it was just good. I loved it. Ever since Steve Jobs died, I'm telling you, ever since he passed away, Apple has sucked because they screw everything up. Every time there's an update, they screw and I love Apple. I got to tell you, I love Apple. I am an Apple, but I'm getting to a point where I'm getting ticked off because I shouldn't have to update my computer and then it messes programs up that I use. That's just very, very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. So if you guys know why it's doing that, please tell me. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go all the way to Louisville. I'm going to have to get it checked out. I don't know. Maybe you guys can tell me. But oh yeah, that's true. That I've always believed that IBF 69, I think, said on TikTok, they do this on purpose to force you to buy a new equipment. I think you're right. I think you're right. Yeah, I blocked them, Moonstar. I do. Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I think they purposely do things like this to mess up your system, to frustrate you, to force you to go out and buy another $2,000 computer. So anyway, but anyway, if you guys know why recalibrate the sensitivity, Frank, my brother, you talking a language that I don't know what you're talking. So if you can help me out understand that in layman's term, then my buddy, you and me gonna be real best friends. So my guess would be you need to recalibrate the sensitivity. Yeah, I don't know what that means, but it sounds technical. So yeah, send me a message on how I can recalibrate the sensitivity so that I can use my green screen because I enjoy my green screen. I guarantee you that this is something that either you got to push a button or you got to do. It's just the way it goes. Yeah. Anyway, yes, I have friends from all walks of life, Nick. All walks of life. Okay, thank you so much, Frank. I appreciate that. Well, Papa 3782. How come you never message back? Well, Papa3782, I promise you on TikTok, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's because I have 12,000 private messages on TikTok. 12,000. Actually, 12,893 to be exact. Thank you for that. So that's why I'm one person, and I do ministry. I do volunteer ministry for chaplaincy at the hospital. I'm the presiding archbishop for the United States Old Catholic Church. I teach demonology. I'm teaching some. When do I'm only one person. I'm only one person. And then, of course, I answer emails from people who need assistance. So I can only do one thing. I need a staff of 20, but I don't have a staff of 20 because we all do this for free. And so that's what I do. And that is why I'm unable to answer every single email. I can't. I can't do it. Can't do it. Okay. And by the way, where do I teach demonology? Okay, first of all, if you want to learn demonology, then I do have online classes, and you learn at your own pace. So you're not rushed. So what you can do is go to my website, bishopjameslong, LONG.com, bishopjameslong, LONG.com. And you just click on class and you sign up. And you can learn demonology, angelology, paranormal studies, and genealogy. You learn all those. And like I said, you learn at your own pace. It's not rushed. And so anyway, there you go. That's what you can do. All right. Also, I want to remind everybody, do not forget, please do not forget, I need everyone to go to kgradb.com. Again, that's kgrad as in dog, b as in boy.com. And make sure you sign up there, because they have paranormal shows that are pretty amazing shows. And it's very inexpensive, very, very inexpensive. And as a matter of fact, if you put Bishop as the promo code, you're going to get 30% off. So it's already pretty cheap as it is. But you put Bishop in there and bam, you're going to get 30% off already on your subscription. So you just go do it. As a matter of fact, that is the producer for the show. He owns kgradb.com, and he produces the Sacred Division. So again, KG, G as in giraffe, radb.com. All right. So by the way, if there's anybody, if moderators, if you could do me a favor, and let's see, double standard is going to be blocked. Bye-bye. Okay, good. Yeah, so if any of the moderators could write that down, that way they know. It's www.kg as in giraffe, radb.com. I know it's yeah, there's a lot of people being muted. Unfortunately, it's one of those things on TikTok. It's everywhere. I mean, you got people in the chats, and they're just being dramatic, and just what are you going to do? What are you going to do, folks? Okay. Tell me something about us. Well, Simon, what would you like to know? I don't know. What would you like to know? All right. It's on the screen. It's on the screen there. It's on the screen for you guys, Frank. But I was talking about for TikTok. I got two different things going on here. So kgradb.com. Okay. So there we are. Make sure you go there and check it out. I think you're going to like it very, very much. Now, I do know that some of you have questions regarding the paranormal, and this is Paranormal Fridays. It is Friday. We finally made it. Hopefully you're going to do, you're planning on doing something good for yourself, something fun, whatever it is. And we'll have a lot of questions, and I'll answer to the best of my ability, and we're going to go from there. Anything and everything related to the paranormal. So Ashley has a question that I'm posting here. In your opinion, do you feel like now, with all the social media platforms such as TikTok and YouTube teaching people how to do spells and summon spirits, it has caused more demonic activity? Ashley, yes, I do. Absolutely. And I think that that's one of the biggest problems. The biggest problem that's going on now is that people, and I'm glad you asked that question, Ashley, there's a lot of people that are going on social media and they're teaching people to summon black magic, to do all this other stupid stuff. And then when all hell breaks loose, then they have to contact somebody like me, and then they demand. It's not they ask, they command, as if I am their servant, their personal sweeper-upper. They command that I get to their home immediately and fix the problem that they caused in the first place. And that, I cannot tell you how many times that happens on a daily basis, where I'll get a phone call or I'll get email from someone being very disrespectful and very rude, and then commanding that I'd stop everything I'm doing, as if I literally am only waiting at the computer, waiting to serve them. Guys, you would be shocked at some of the emails that I get, shocked and appalled, as anybody would be, because they're very disrespectful, very rude. And then when I tell them, well, I can't get to you. Well, why not? You're a fake bishop. I knew you were a fake priest. You fake blah, blah, blah. And I had one person call me everything in the book besides my name. And I'm telling you, it is. But Ashley, this is true. And one thing that I do want to point out, and as a matter of fact, I talked to some folks that I am training in demonology to be religious demonologists for the church. And I spoke to them about this. And let me tell you what's going on. And this is another issue. For those of you in the paranormal community, you need to listen up very carefully, because you guys are the ones that have to clean this mess up too, not just me. So here's what's going on now. Here's the big thing, for some stupid reason. This lesser key of Solomon. Okay, first, it's idiotic. It's asinine. It's theologically asinine. Everything about the lesser key of Solomon is stupid. And the whole purpose of the lesser key of Solomon is to make a buck. That's it, folks. I'm telling you, look, I shoot from the hip, whether you like me or not. I have a backbone. I'm not going to back down on things that I absolutely know are true. And I always tell you guys exactly how I feel. Whether you like it or not, you don't have to guess. The lesser key of Solomon is bull. The whole point of the lesser key of Solomon is one thing and one thing only, and that's to make $1. That is it. To sell books, to make documentaries or make stupid movies, and then people run and, oh my gosh, I'm going to go do the lesser key of Solomon. Let me tell you what it is. Okay, let me tell you what it is. The lesser key of Solomon is the belief that King Solomon had a ring, insignia, that was created in heaven by God, and that St. Michael delivered this ring to King Solomon. King Solomon used this ring for the sole purpose of summoning demons and to speak to birds and speak to flowers and all this other crap that you can possibly think of. I think he was probably on a little bit, maybe something else but I mean, you're speaking to flowers, folks, come on. Whew. Anyway, so, okay. So he speaks to flowers and he can control the wind. And with this lesser key of Solomon junk, what he does, or what he allegedly did, is he would summon demons to control them. And he controlled them to force them into slavery to build the temple, his temple. And that's what he did. And so now here are the demons lugging this is so stupid. Here are the demons lugging around, this huge, massive brick on their shoulder, and they're moving. Oh, good God. Really, folks? Really? If you really think that actually happened, there would be more than the lesser key of Solomon crap created that would be written down to tell you that, yeah, these magical spirits running around picking up big boulders and putting them on the, come on. Dumb. Anyway, that's what happened. So Solomon had these diagrams, and these diagrams are used for the sole purpose of summoning demons. Now, what's happening is that people who are influenced by ass clowns who go on YouTube and type in, oh, that's our lesser key of Solomon, you got to know about this. So what the people are doing who are influenced by this nonsense is they are now taking these diagrams and they are posting them on a Ouija board. And they are summoning their own demon so that they can control this demon into doing their bidding. So now that is what we have going on at this time. Folks, whether you like it or not, look, it's ridiculous. It is stupid. It is, matter of fact, I talked to a rabbi and I asked him, there's a ring. I didn't bring it. I was supposed to bring. There was a ring. You can buy these rings on eBay and all this other junk. And you can pay, up to, $10 to $100 for this lesser key of Solomon ring. Anyway, so you buy this stupid ring. And now this ring is supposed to have this insignia with the lesser key of Solomon that he used to summon demons and to control them. Anyway, for your information, in case you want to know, there is no ancient drawings of these alleged diagrams from Solomon. They don't exist. No one has any idea what these diagrams even look like in the first place. No matter what anyone tells you, no one knows. Now, I have a friend of mine who's a rabbi, and he's a highly advanced theological as far as his education, his knowledge. He's studied the lesser key of Solomon more than any of us, me included. And I even showed him the diagrams. And he said, first of all, these diagrams are absolutely idiotic. They have nothing to do with Solomon. And these are counterproductive. That they actually do just the opposite. Not only are they're magic, they're black magic. He referred to them as black magic. So these diagrams that are on these rings and you see on the internet are stupid. The whole point of those, because he even read them in Hebrew to me, and the whole point of these idiotic diagrams is to summon evil, not to control them. There is no summoning to control them. It is actually to summon them, period. It is black magic. It is evil. And he said, you need to let people know that this is something to stay away from. So there. Yeah, you're right. Frank exactly said it perfectly. Satanic sigils. Plain and simple. That is what they are. Now you've been warned. You've been warned. And I'm telling you, if you do this, I'm not coming to your home. Now, people can say, well, that's rude. No, it's not rude. It's stupid to do it after I just spent 18 minutes telling you not to do it. Don't do it. Because all it's going to happen is you're going to give an invitation to the demonic. The demonic will say, okay, yes, I'll take the invitation. All hell is going to break loose in your house, in your home. And then you're going to be terrified. Absolutely. And then you're going to call me and command me to actually come to your home. And I'm going to say no. And I'm going to say no because I've told you don't do it. People say, well, that's not very nice. You shouldn't do that. It is nice. Don't do it. I don't know. So stay away from it. Stay away from it. Would a cross tattoo protect me from evil? Jordan, you can have a million things tattooed on your body. That's not going to protect you from evil. It is not the cross tattoo. It is your faith in God that's going to protect you. So don't put your faith in an object such as a tattoo or something of this nature. You need to put your faith in God. Your faith cannot be placed in the tattoo. The tattoo will not save you. It is your faith in God that's going to save you from evil. So you're getting those two confused. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Well, allegedly, yes. Allegedly, Solomon. The story goes that Solomon received this ring from God, actually from Michael, Saint Michael the Archangel. That this ring was created in heaven and given to him to control demons. The problem with that whole thing is that there were 4 little jewels on this alleged ring. And in one of the jewels, it mentions Muhammad, the great prophet. Muhammad hadn't even been born then. Anyway, I'm just saying. But if you're going to put your faith in that, well, go put your faith in it. But don't come complaining to me. No, there's no proof of the ring. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely no. So there we go. You can ask a question, but keep in mind, it's not because I'm ignoring you guys. It's because there's a lot of people asking questions. Just you can answer. Yeah, Satan made that ring. There you go. That's a good point. That's a really good point. Let's see. I'm sorry your name, but yeah, on TikTok. Yeah, you know what? That's a great point. So anyway, Well, I pipe the British woman. There is proof. You see, there's no proof in anything. Well, I don't know about that part, but as far as the ring, no, I just that's a bit ridiculous. Yeah. So anyway, there we go. Would you let relatives become demonologists with your knowledge of the field? Well, Jacob, personally, it's not up to me because that's up to God. Being a demonologist is something you don't choose. It's not something you're like, I want to be a demonologist today. That doesn't work that way, because being a demonologist has nothing to do with the paranormal. Absolutely nothing to do with the paranormal. This is ministry. And so if people, that's one of the things I've talked about for 20 years now. Being a demonologist, being an exorcist has nothing to do with the paranormal. This is theological, and this is a ministry, and it's a calling. And if you don't have a calling, then you leave it alone. That's exactly what I would say. Leave it alone, because it's quite dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. And as far as do I think Annalise Michel will be a saint? I don't think so. And the reason being, there are no miracles, from my understanding, that's attributed to Annalise Michel. In order to be a Roman Catholic saint, there has to be 3 documented actual miracles that has been performed, or that was performed on behalf of the saint. So let's say, for example, Pope John Paul. People would say that his blessing or something like this has saved or cured someone. So you have to have 3 documented blessings before one can be even considered to be canonized. So I at this point, there are no, from my understanding, documentation of miracles, and so therefore no, I don't believe she would be a saint. And Annalise Michel, for those of you who don't know, people are asking, well, who's this? Remember, Annalise Michel is the exorcism of Emily Rose. So for those of you who don't know, her name is Annalise Michel, and she went through hell. Let's make no mistake about it. What she went through was absolute hell. But I also believe that what happened to her should have never happened. Never, under any circumstances. Because I think there was some very serious neglect that had occurred with Annalise that should have never occurred. And so in this case with Annalise, I think there was some serious problems. Let me plug this up so the battery won't die. There we go. Okay. Yep. There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. If it messed up there for a second, because I had to plug it up. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, she wasted away, and it's terrible. That's, to me, it's kind of it's very, very sad. Yeah, very, very sad. All right. That's new. Seeing live pause. Yeah, it was just paused briefly because I had to plug my cord up. That's it. For some reason, it's an old iPad, so it's like a 1920 iPad. It really is. I'm to be honest with you, on TikTok, guys, I'm being really honest with you. I'm surprised that this iPad is still running the show. I mean, I really am. I think it's only by the grace of God that it's running. So, and I'm trying to find a new iPad, or at least a relatively new iPad. I'm willing to buy one, but they're very expensive. These iPads can go up to close to $3,000. That's a hell of a lot of money. So I need to buy an update in my iPad, because this iPad is just it is on death's door. And so anyway, there's a couple people who said that they had one, but I'm not, unless it's on Marketplace or something like this, I can't give you money and then hope to God someone actually sends it to me, unless it's on Marketplace or eBay or something like that. Unfortunately, it happened. That happened, believe it or not. Of course, it would happen to me. I posted on Facebook, and I had mentioned that my iPad was very old, and my iMac actually is old too, but it's still kicking. But I said I needed to update my iMac or my iPad, because it's very old, and I know eventually it's going to stop working, and then I can't run shows on TikTok. And so I said, I need to buy one. And so someone contacted me and they said, yep, I have one. It was a very fair offer. And they knew that I was clergy and they knew that I do the ministry and all this. And they said, okay, it's $300. I'm not putting it on. They said, I'm not going to put it on Marketplace because I got ripped off there in Marketplace. I don't know anything about it. So this is how we exchange money. I exchanged money to them. Never got the iPad. Never got it. Can you imagine? Never got it. Now, this person stole $300. Never received the iPad. But this is what happens. It's one of those things. Yeah, go to Walmart. I did, and actually, I saw one for $300, but they were all sold out. So yep, that's and I can't go around turning $500. I just can't do it. When you make when you do ministry and you try to, and I don't get paid, so I don't get paid as clergy. So this is 100% free. And so, I teach online English. So you don't make a whole lot of money doing that. And with the extra money that I have of my own paycheck, then I pay for my ministry. So no, this is the way it happens. It's just what happens. No, I didn't get my money back. They were a liar. Yeah, Gabriel, they lied. They just stole money. And that's what happened. So anyway, that's the way it goes, and we keep on going, don't we? We learn, and we go. All right. Yeah, they insure transactions. I tried that, but unfortunately, the money had already gone through, and then they closed their PayPal account. So yeah, that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes, everybody. All right. Oh no. So can iPad be possessed? Well, I think my iMac is possessed because it messed up ever since I uploaded. That's funny. Yeah, there we go. So it's kind of crazy. Okay. Bishop in the house, demons on the run. There we go. I like that. I like that that slogan. I might have to use that. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay. Well, thank you, Steve. And thank you to all. Anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know, just be careful about that. Be careful about that stuff, because unfortunately that's going around a lot. And these people will even steal from clergy. So if they're going to steal from clergy, they'll steal from everybody. They'll steal from anybody and everybody. And so just be careful about that. If someone contacts you and says, hey, look, if you post something, you're looking for something, you'll get blasted by a private message from people you don't know. Oh, I have this. I have it. And this is what they do. I've contacted PayPal, and unfortunately they closed their account out, and that's it. That's just the way it goes. So, well, thank you, Pound Town. I appreciate that. And I don't want to imply that. That's not what but I appreciate that. Now, if you do want to help with the ministry, that's separate. You can always help with the ministry. You can go to bishopjameslong.com, scroll down, and you can make whatever donation to whatever ministry you want. The homeless ministry, single moms ministry, or the ministry of me going to people's homes and blessing them. Either way. And of course, thank you so much for the gifts on TikTok. I appreciate that. All right. So there we go. The power. Yeah, that's right. Well, thank you, David. I appreciate that. So just be careful. Also, one more thing before we, and hello there. Hello. Oh, that's a good question. Is it safe to watch stream paranormal investigations on social media? Let me answer that question just a second. Also, keep in mind, everybody, and this is really, really important. Keep in mind, folks, when you're going to I know this is not with a paranormal, but I want to tell you this because I read it and I spoke to a police officer the other day. This is what's going on too, and you probably are aware of this. But what people are doing now, especially during the the big travel seasons, is they put fake, and some of you might know this, but the people are putting fake readers, like if you do your gas, a simple gas thing, or if you go to ATMs, they're able to put these fake readers on these ATMs or your gas, and then when you swipe your card, it automatically reads it. And then if you had to put sometimes your PIN or your zip code, it will read that information. And then what these people do is they take it right off and they download it, and now they have your information. Oh, that happened to you, Ray. I'm so sorry. That's terrible. So Well, thank you. That's very pretty. Thank you, Shan. I like that's pretty actually. Um, so what you need to do anytime you go to an ATM or anytime you go and you pull up to a like to get gas in car, make sure that you kind of pull a little bit on where the reader on whatever reader is going to read your thing. Please make sure you pull and you make sure that it's secure. That actually happened to me. I was at the ATM and I had read about this prior to that. And I went to the ATM. Normally, I'll always do. I was helping a single mom. I was going to meet her, give her some money for food. And I was getting ready to put my card in. I thought, you know what? I better just check it. And I went and I grabbed a hold of it and I pulled it. It came right off. And then the bank's ATM was right there. So here I have in my hand the fake reader. And I went into the bank. I said, you guys need to be aware of this. So now they're looking into it and hopefully they'll prosecute the person. But that actually happened to me. So be careful if you're going to the ATM or if you're getting gas, make sure you check that reader, pull a little bit. And if it comes off, forget it. I mean, you don't have to yank it and take a hammer to it. I don't think they would like that. You don't have to do that. But if you pull with some, it'll come off. It'll pop right off. So anyway, wow. It's happened to a lot of people. MOB, Moby Fusion happened to you as well. Got stuck in Texas with no access to money. Oh my goodness. So you just be careful. Just be careful of that stuff because it does happen. It does happen. Yeah, that's why there's a lot of people that's happened to. On TikTok, people, for those of you who don't know here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or Twitch, there's a lot of people that's telling me that there's a lot that's happened to a lot of people. Man. What are your thoughts on being God's parents? Oh, godparents to someone's children. Oh, that's a great question, Brandon. Actually, it's interesting you asked that question, Brandon. It's very interesting. I had a friend of mine that I knew on Facebook. I've known her for a bit. And she asked me if I would be the godfather of Gabby, which is her little daughter. And I said yes. And then Brienne. So there's another beautiful young lady in the world. And so she asked me if I would be willing to be the godparent of her as well. So I am now the godfather of Brienne and Gabby. And I tell you what, I truly believe, when someone asks you to do that, that's an honor. That's a true honor. And well, thank you, Frank. And I really do take that very seriously, and I appreciate that very much. So anytime someone does that, I do that. Okay. Please answer Orivia's question about paranormal online safety. Well, Don, if you could let me know, what was the question exactly? If you have give me the question if you would. That way I can see it because I couldn't see this. So I don't know what the question is. No, don't call me Godfather. No. No. That's all right. Yeah, repeat the question. Is it safe to watch? Oh yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, is it safe to watch live? Yeah, thanks for reminding me. Is it safe to watch live stream paranormal investigation on social media? Okay. I don't. If you've had demonic infestation before, if you've had demonic oppression before, if you've had a demonic attachment, and certainly possession, then no, you should not watch these because a lot of these shows deal with demonic entities, alleged demonic entities. It seems like every television show now, it talks about things that demons are on every corner. It's simply not the truth. It's simply, they're present, certainly, but it seems like they think possession is just constant thing. And that's not the case. It's just not. So I'm concerned about how many of these television shows are always mentioning demons. And I understand why they do it. They do it because it frightens people. It scares people. And that is going to make you want to look and watch more. So there's always a cliffhanger. And so you kind of get addicted to it. And like all of a sudden you're scared and you're frightened and they sensationalize it even more. It just, not every single case is demonic. It's just not. And if you're a paranormal investigator, you know what I'm talking about. Let me tell you, a lot of paranormal investigating, if you've ever investigated before, and I've performed thousands of investigations through the years. If you've ever investigated, the majority of time you're sitting there, you might have a couple of things happen, but most of the time, paranormal investigating is investigating and then reviewing your material. Most of your time is spent on watching all of the evidence, listening to all the evidence, reviewing all the evidence. That is what a lot of paranormal investigating is about. You guys know it, and so do I, because I've been there. I've seen it. And so there's a lot of review, because you have to, if you're there for 5 or 6 hours, that's a lot to review. You have to watch all of the video very carefully. You have to listen to every single EVP, everything that's recorded, and you have to review all the pictures. That's a lot of material. So it is. How do you feel about the Vatican? I don't have any problems with the Vatican. How do you get into a Catholic faith? Pound Town. Well, what you do is, if you want to be Roman Catholic, then you contact or go to your local parish, your church, and you speak to the pastor. And then what they will do is put you in what's called the RCIA program. And it's a rite of Christian initiation, and you just simply go in, and they will teach you Catholicism, and that's the process. Okay. The elemental beings, that's interesting. Elementals. My sister and I, our grandmother, she was Cherokee. And I have a picture of her somewhere, but she was Cherokee. And I would talk to her a lot about even her beliefs and her growing up and experience. But I also know a very good friend of mine who's a shaman, and his name is Willie Windwalker Gibson. And I've talked to him about his experience as a shaman. From his experience, elementals are, and I've had a few cases like this, so I can confirm what he's saying. It seems that when you begin to destroy the habitat in the area, that is when you have activity. And elementals are described as sometimes very small creatures, and they can be very frightening, very scary. Some people would even describe fairies as elementals or trolls as elementals. But the belief is that they will come and torment the individuals who are destroying the habitat, the local habitat. So let's say if you buy a 5-acre land and you go and you destroy 2 acres of trees, because you don't want those trees there. You want to knock them down. And then activity starts up in your home. And you take pictures and you see these little figures and what you think would look like elementals. Well, what happens is if you begin to reestablish, replant, to fix the habitat that you destroyed, the belief is then that makes everything right and the activity will stop. So apparently, I've had a couple of cases that Willie Windwalker told me, he said, yep, these are elementals. And so I told them what to do. He said to fix the habitat, to repair the damage that they'd done, and that you will find that the activity will stop. So I told them, you need to plant the trees, you need to fix the things you destroyed, and you go from there, because they were Native American, but they were never taught the belief. They had problems up to about 3 months or so, and then the activity just stopped. It completely everything stopped. So I've had a couple of cases that I do absolutely believe were based on elementals. We can theorize as to why, but I did not perform the minor rite of exorcism there, because Willie said, "No, James, this is this is how I would do this," and I listened to him, and he was right. He was right. This is not a situation. I'm in this ministry, and I'm not the type of person where everything I say goes. Well, no, that's not right. That's why sometimes I will reach out to someone who has been in the field for a long time. I've been in the field for a long time, but who may have a different, We may have a different thought process on certain things and experience. And I think it's very important, to learn from one another. And that's what I did. And I'm glad he did. Yep, that's right. Shannon Long said native land, native laws. There we go. I think that's probably the best way to put it. And that's it. That is native land, native laws there. Okay. All right. And thank you, Brian. I did just see your message. Oh, wow. Thank you very much, Brian. I appreciate that. Okay. So, that's it for us. Yep. Android Purity says, I personally believe elementals, jinn, and demons are all the same thing, just different names given by different groups of people with different faiths. Yeah, but see, you got to understand, now, when you're referring to jinn, you're referring, of course, to the Muslim faith. Now, you got to be careful about that, because there are there are beliefs in this that jinns are not all bad. So this is where the error in thinking that way comes, because when you start saying that you believe demons and jinns are all the same thing, well, if that's the case, then if we believe that jinns are not all bad, we then have to say, well, if jinns are demons, then demons are not all bad. And that is a big no-no. So that's where I separate the two. The jinns are seen as magical fairies or things, the movie, I forgot the movie. My brain just said goodbye. The genie, there you go. The genie in the lamp, that, you polish the lamp and you get 3 wishes and the genie will do your bidding, and that not everything is evil. Well, that's not the case of demons. Now, demons will certainly do your bidding, but there's a price to pay. It's not free. So you can certainly, which don't do, please, you can certainly summon a demon, and you can certainly cause havoc in someone's life. You certainly, but if you do, then you're going to pay one way or the other. And it's not worth committing the mortal sin to do that. And it's certainly not worth losing your salvation over, because that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about something simple. We're talking about a mortal sin where you can lose your salvation. That is as serious as it gets. There's nothing that a demon is going to offer you except for death and destruction. That is all. And anyone else that says otherwise is misleading you. Stay away. So yeah, and hello to all you guys. Thank you so much. By the way, for those of you on TikTok who are liking the video, thank you for doing that. I really sincerely appreciate that. And Cupcake Package, I think that's you. There's a lot of you who are giving gifts, offering gifts and again, I appreciate that as well. Thank you for doing that. It's very, very kind of you. All right. Well, do you think the Bible has been? That's a good Bible question. Well, I think the Bible is, we know, written by men, inspired by God. We also know, and I teach Bible study, we also know that different translations have occurred through the centuries. And when that happens, the translation is so different than the original text. In some cases, you're like, that's not what the original text says. That it really, you're reading a completely different book. You're not even reading the Bible anymore. It's a completely separate book. Well, that's pretty. Sorry for those of you. If I look over and say, "Oh, that's pretty," it's because someone offered a gift on TikTok, and sometimes they're like gifts of the ocean, and this was a bunch of like a little thing of candy. Oh, candy. Since my gastric bypass surgery, I can't have sweets. I can't have sugar, and but I found a trick. There is sugar-free cookies, sugar-free cookies, and very good, actually, very good. So there we are. But I'm very happy. I'm very happy. I'm glad that I had it. Okay. Oh, Gary says, ghosts in my house told me there were no jinns. They were all demons. Well, and Gary, let me just say this. This is important. I'm glad Gary said this, because and by the way, I have a lot of really cool stories I want to get to too. Really cool. Gary, let me say something to you guys, because it's really important. Gary Robinson on Facebook said, "Ghosts in my house told me there were no jinn there; they were all demons." Gary, now let me say something, Gary, to you, because this is important, bro. My brother from another. Let me tell you something. How you know that those ghosts told you there were no jinns? Do not investigate your home. Do not do that, folks. Don't investigate your home. That is a big mistake. And let me tell you why. I'm not going to just tell you that not like a cliffhanger. Here's the problem. Get help. That's right. Deanna absolutely said it. Dean, I'm sorry, said get help. And here's why. When you start investigating your own home, if it is demonic, then the demonic oftentimes they can mimic the voice of a deceased loved one. They can mimic the voice of a child. They can do a variety of things to trick you, parlor tricks. And you're like, oh my gosh, because there are EVPs, which is electronic voice phenomena, which is on digital recorders. You can actually hear the live EVP. I have one. I have a digital recorder where you can put it in your ears and whatever headsets you want, and you can actually hear the EVP as it occurs. Now, because there's a live EVP, you can actually listen to it. That's beneficial because then you don't have to go back and listen to 14 hours of digital work. So I can hear it. But that's where it gets very dangerous, because the moment that you do that, and the moment you begin to interact, so if it says is there anyone here, and you have an EVP and it said Tommy. Oh my gosh, it's Tommy, and it's a little boy. It's a little boy. Oh, that's so sad. How old are you, Tommy? 8. Oh, 8. Tell me about it. Now you're communicating with what you think is Tommy. And you begin to interact with Tommy. You have now given the invitation that the demonic needs to attach itself to you. And the demonic will use every tool possible to trick you, to make you believe you're speaking with someone other than the demon. And then before you know it, you have all hell breaking loose in your home. And it was completely innocent on your part. You didn't want to speak to a demon, obviously, but that's how demons operate. They're liars. They're tricksters. They offer parlor tricks. They do nothing. They do nothing but destroy. And that is where you have to be very, very careful. So if you have an issue in your home, I know that it's difficult sometimes to get help. I know it. But you got to remember that we're the paranormal investigators. We do all of this for free. We don't charge 1 penny. So you got to be patient. And I know that if you're going through scary things in your home, I understand how scary that is. But my advice is, if you are having issues in your home, no matter where you live, I Google some paranormal teams in your area. Now you need to find out. You need to do your own research. And the way you do this is you go to their website. You see basically if they're trying to be superstars. Are they trying to be the next Zach Bagans? I've said it before. Zach is my friend. I have no problems with Zach. I've told Zach a million times, you got to stop provoking. You got to stop inviting. But what you need to understand is you got to start doing your own research on these people, because these people are coming into your home. So you need to research them. You need to see if they are taking advantage of people. If they're charging, stay away. If they charge, thank you very much, but no thank you. Just don't even go that route. So contact people who don't believe everything is a demon. That's very important. I mean, and the way you do it is you can go on their Facebook, you go on their social media, and do your research. If everything is a demon, then stay away from them. Stay away. Because those are the people that have no business in this field. Because they do more harm than they do good. Because they go into someone's home. Let's say there's activity, legitimate activity, but let's say it's not demonic at all. It could be a human spirit. It could be poltergeist. There's a lot of things that it could occur. And then immediately, without even it's a demon. It's a demon. It's going to kill your whole family. And then they scare everybody to death. And now you're like, well, what am I supposed to do with this information? So, folks, I promise you, you don't want to work with those individuals because everything is a demon. Everything. Someone's stomach could growl. Oh, did you hear that demon sound? No, the person's stomach growled. Come on, give me a break. I'm serious. It is that ridiculous. It is. It is. I mean, oh boy. Darlene Smart said, I had a priest come. He was more interested in the information in my head. I'm not. What do you mean, Darlene? Can you expand on that a little bit? When you say he was more information in your head, I don't understand. So yeah, tell me about that. But yeah. Okay. What is the most powerful prayer to protect someone in their home? Oh gosh, there's a lot. Of course, the Our Father. I'm obviously Catholic. I'm old Catholic. I studied for the Roman Catholic priesthood for 6 years, but Mary is very important to me. And so I also pray the rosary. And so I think the Salve Regina is something that I pray. I pray the Our Father. I also pray St. Michael prayer. St. Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle, be our protection against the malice snares of the devil. May God rebuke him. We humbly pray. So you can do the short version. So I also pray that. So there are several prayers that I pray. But also, you can also pray what's called the Epiphany of the Doors. So for those of you who don't know that, it's a beautiful prayer. And you can Google it. Just type in Epiphany of the Door prayer. And Epiphany is EPIPHANY, Epiphany. And that is a beautiful prayer to bless the home. Now that's different. That's not the minor rite of exorcism. So please understand there's a difference. But the Epiphany of the Doors is a beautiful prayer. It's an ancient ritual, and it's very powerful. So I would certainly do that. Epiphany of the Doors. Yeah. Thank you very much, Aussie. Well, you can ask something. Night will rise, and I'll try my best to get the question. But there's a lot of folks asking questions, but I'll try to get to them. How do you get rid of a spirit that's in your home? Well, I would command that spirit. You have to leave. You're not welcome here. I don't want you here. In the name of God, I command you to leave. And my guardian angel, whoever you may be, I'm asking you to come into my life. And I'm asking you to remove whatever is in my home. Pray to St. Michael. You're not being aggressive. You're not being rude. You just want whatever is there to move on. And that's something that I would do. Because again, I understand. What was that? Can you repeat the name of the last prayer? It's called the Epiphany of the Door. Epiphany of the Door. And you can Google that. There's a lot of there's several of them. And that they will, that's a very powerful prayer. Epiphany of the Door. Okay. Yeah. They have no authority. That's absolutely correct. And you're very welcome. And they have no authority to be there unless you gave them permission to. See, that's the kicker there, right? That's the only authority they have. If you've given them the authority. So what I mean by that is, let's say you're playing with the Ouija board. Don't. Please don't. Don't, guys. Please leave the Ouija board alone. There's nothing good that's going to come out of the Ouija board. There's nothing good. I give you my word. Just please. Yeah. It's the same thing. Yeah, very good, Frank. Frank is asking, is that the same prayer that some people refer to as chalking the door? Yes. But the official term is epiphany. It's also chalking the door, and because you use chalk, but yeah, you'll see it. So for those of you who don't know about this Ouija board, understand this is an incantation. These are chants. These are spells. This is the invitation when you're playing with Ouija boards. And this is something that is very dangerous, should not be done. You should stay away from it. A lot of people also refer to this as talking board too. Some people will say that, use talking board. And by the way, there's a lot of people who don't know this, but a lot of people don't know that this is not a new thing that was just recently created. Did you guys know that? Actually, in ancient pagan rituals, they use them. Not that we have, they don't look exactly like what we're using today, but in Asia, Africa, Middle East, and Europe, they used these what we understand as Ouija boards. It was reintroduced actually in the 19th century, and it was reintroduced in France in 1853. A spiritualist invented a planchette as a tool for mediums, so that they can move this thing. And then in 1892, William Fuld invented the Ouija board. So this actually wasn't. There's other talking boards that are similar. There's a witch board. There's a finger of fate. There's a mystic Moodoo ESP. So there's several things that you can call it. Ouija, Fuld asked the board to name itself. And that is how Ouija, that is how the name came about, because he was playing around with it and he said, well, what is your name? And allegedly it spelled out Ouija. And so there we go. And you can run with it and kind of go with it, but just obviously stay away from it. Major deals were made, and he became a millionaire. So just, and by the way, and I know some of you may not know that, but the question is it just a game? Well, actually, Fuld's company, the creator of the Ouija board, went to court in 1920 to establish it as a religious device to contact the spirit world. He actually went to court, and they denied it was a game. And they went all the way to the Supreme Court, where it was acknowledged as a mediumistic tool. So it actually went to the Supreme Court. A lot of people don't. This is what's fascinating to me about history. Many people don't know this. So just again, it's not just a game. It's very, very dangerous, and you should stay away from it. Keep in mind that this board is what started the whole Exorcist situation. The movie The Exorcist, it all started it with the use of a Ouija board. So a lot of people think that there's nothing wrong with it. Well, speak to the young man. Well, he's passed away, but speak to his family and ask if there's nothing wrong with it. It is, and just stay. No, it was a woman that invented. Nope. William, look it up. William Fuld. William Fuld. He's the one who actually got the credit for that. I mean, it's possible that a woman came up with a concept, but the actual behind it is William Fuld. I don't know. Spiritualism was very, very popular in that time, and so, but that's you can say good, bad, or indifferent. I don't know. All right, we got William Fuld, Fuld. Yeah, just stay away from it because it's not good. So what would happen if someone stumbled upon one they never knew they had while cleaning their attic basement? Yeah, Darlene, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Yeah, isn't it interesting how men seem to always get credit for the work that women do? But that's throughout history. That's unfortunate, but it's happened. If you come across a Ouija board and it is in your home and you don't know how it got there, let's say you moved into a home, then you really need to have someone who is trained to seal it and to close it off and to properly remove it. A lot of people will bury it. Some people have even burnt it. Stay away from doing that. Look, there's nothing magical about a Ouija board. It doesn't contain magic. This pen here, here's a pen. I can actually hold this up because there's no green screen behind me. I might just use this, by the way. I don't know. But this is a Christmas pen. This is a Christmas pen. No big deal. The purpose of this pen, is to look at it, and it's Christmassy, and that's nice, and write things. But I can also use that pen as a portal, very simply. And a portal is a communication tool that I open a portal, a communication, whatever you want to call it, line, or to speak to a spirit in which I don't know its identity. That's the danger with the Ouija board. You don't know who you're talking to. And people have argued with me over this through the years. Oh, yes, I do. No, you don't. No, you don't. You can't prove that to me. You cannot prove to me that you know with 100% certainty that you can guarantee that every time you use that Ouija board, that there will not be a demon that will come present. You cannot. No, you cannot. You can't prove that to me. And so therefore, if you can't prove it, which you can't, you can allow an evil to occur, which is the demonic can come through. So a lot of people have said that, and it's just very, very frustrating when people do that. You just don't play with them. They're bad stuff. So anyway, you can kind of go with that. So yeah, a lot of people ask me all the time if I believe in reincarnation. There's a lot of things with reincarnation that people can argue against and for. So it's a debatable topic, certainly, no question about that. Oh, and by the way, those of you who like the movie Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, have you seen that movie, everybody? Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark? Well, this has been confirmed by hitc.com. Horror fans will certainly be no strangers to sequels, and that's true. However, they'll be familiar with waiting for a sequel year after year too, and has been the obviously case for numerous franchises, potential ones, and of course, now sometimes Netflix helps give an older title new popularity, and this has recently been the case for Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Now, it was released in the summer of 2019, but thanks to its addition on the platform, audiences have become curious regarding a potential sequel as of late. So the question is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark 2, is it confirmed? Well, a sequel to Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark was announced in late 2020, although there haven't been many updates since. Now, back in November 2020, Bloody Disgusting noted, it's an online site, noted that Paramount, and Entertainment One plan to collaborate on the second installment of Scary Stories, which may not come as a surprise to some. Now, the movie is actually based on Alvin Schwartz's children book series. I remember this. I remember reading this. I do. I remember reading this book series of the same name, and there are plenty of creepy tales left to tell in future movies. Now, with material there to adapt, it was perhaps a no-brainer to give a sequel the go-ahead. Now, Andre is returning to the director's chair, with Dan and Kevin Hageman are back to reprise screenwriting duties. It has been reported that the aforementioned Pan Labyrinth director, Gilmore, will have a story by credit. Despite no release date being announced and little news since, perhaps we'll see the movie reach screens later this year or hopefully next year. So there we go. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark 2 has apparently been greenlit, which in terms of movies and television, it means, yep, there we go. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. If you like Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark movie, well, it's got to be coming out. And I don't know when. Someone was sent me a message. When am I going back to Los Angeles? I don't know. So the only thing that I'm allowed to say about that situation is I did go to Los Angeles and I did film for a television show that has been greenlit, but I can't say the name of it. I can't tell. Like, I'm not allowed to say anything else until it's released, and then the director says, "Yep, you guys can promote it," and then you guys, I'll promote it. It's going to be pretty amazing. I'm very, very excited about it. It is a series, and so it's going to be pretty intense. Pretty cool show. Very, very cool show. So that's coming out hopefully sometime this year. I don't know when, but you'll know. Believe me, I will let you guys know. And There we go. So I don't know when I'm going back, and I'll let you guys know if it's going to interfere with Bible study or Sacred Division. But right now, I can't really talk much about it. By the way, Meatloaf, not Meatloaf you eat, Meatloaf the singer. How many of you are fans with Meatloaf? Well, unfortunately, rest this whole, Meatloaf has in fact passed away. Now, for those of you who are, yes, Debbie, for those of you who are fans of Meatloaf, well, Meatloaf's final televised appearance will be on Ghost Hunters next month. So Meatloaf, the singer, did pass away. So listen to this. Oh, you have a question? Well, hold on 1 second, USA. 1 second there. The showbiz world has reacted with sadness to the tragic death of rock legend Meatloaf, but his last ever televised appearance will premiere next month. And we're going to see him join the TAPS team for paranormal investigation. And I know the TAPS crew, they're very nice guys, very, very cool guys. The much loved I Do Anything for Love singer agent broke the news on social media this morning, actually the other day, that Meatloaf had passed away with his family by his side. Now, one of the Ghost Hunter stars, Jason Hawes, very cool guy, wrote that he was heartbroken on Twitter. He said, quote, "I'm sorry, but I am at loss for words. I'm happy we just recently got a chance to investigate together again. Love you, my friend." Let me tell you something. Jason's a great, if you ever get to meet Jason, he's a very cool guy. Just a very down-to-earth, incredibly friendly person. Jason, one of the original members of TAP's team, returned in a new season of Ghost Hunters at the beginning of the year, with a new episode dropping on Discovery Plus every Saturday. Now, there's 12 episodes in total, but in the season's 7th episode, entitled The Haunted House on the Hill, viewers will get to see what happened when Meatloaf joined Jason, Steve's great, Dave Tango, and Sherry for the night to investigate an old haunting that is still scaring a local community in Tennessee. Very, very cool. By the way, the Travel Channel, who commissioned the series, said, quote, "Our hearts go out to the friends, family, and fans of rock legend Meatloaf. We're so honored that you were able to investigate with us one last time." And then heart, R.I.P. Meatloaf. Travel Channel is great. They're truly. Travel Channel is it's a tight knit group. It's a great network. Now, the episode featuring Meatloaf premieres on Discovery Plus in the UK and USA Saturday. So for those of you who are fans of Meatloaf, it's going to premiere Saturday, February the 12th. Okay. And sees the original TAPS team plus the late singer and actor investigate an old farmhouse in Tennessee. Rumors of terrifying activity have plagued the property for decades, but the new owners want to reassure the community that their home doesn't harbor dangerous entities. As always, the team will be armed with state-of-the-art technology and their proven methodology. TAPS tackles disturbing paranormal activity head-on, leaving no stone unturned to reach the dead among the living. You know what I like about, well, there's a lot that I like about TAPS, but Jason, of course, has worked so hard with this team. What I really like about TAPS is that they really do everything they can to go in to debunk the activity. I like that. I respect that a lot. That is a quality program, because not everything is a demon and not everything wants to possess you. And because it's so redundant. It's like, always stop. But with TAPS, they literally, and they spend a lot of money on their equipment, and they use it and they know how to use it, and they try to debunk what's going on. They try to explain logically. They're not going to immediately jump to conclusion, "Oh my goodness, you hear noises, it's a demon." No, they try to explain why you're hearing noises. And I respect that. I do. I respect any team that goes out to try to debunk. And that's it. Well, I've done that my whole entire ministry. I go in and I try everything that I can to explain logically why things are happening. Demons is the last thing that enters my mind when I first enter home. It just is. So anyway, that's how I've always operated. And some of you may have, there we go. Yeah, have to debunk, can't yell paranormal or demonic every knock or tap. Yeah, right. You're right. And hello there, Julius, and hello to all you guys. And I appreciate you guys being here so very much. Thank you very much for being here. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Now, there's a really cool movie. A really cool movie. I saw the preview, the trailer to this, and I thought this was really cool. And I want to pass this on to you guys because it looks pretty good. If you're science fiction, if you like sci-fi and horror and scary, well, there's a really cool movie that I saw. You need to check out the trailer. I like it because it's horror sci-fi. So anyway, the question here in this thing here, the Higgy Paranormal is saying, is our moon a megastructure? Now there are theories. There are legitimate theories. People who truly believe that the moon actually now has become nothing but a megastructure. And I'll explain. This is the question posed by conspiracy theorist K.C. Houseman. Now, it might sound like a plot of a science fiction movie, and luckily, this time it is. Now, Houseman is played by John Bradley, who's great, in an upcoming disaster film co-written and directed by Roland Emmerich. And by the way, though, here's the movie. The name of the movie is Moonfall. Moon, like the moon, fall. All one word, Moonfall. And it's a 2022 movie. So it's brand new. Halle Berry is in it. Patrick Wilson's in it. There's a lot of pretty cool stars in here. So it's called Moonfall 2022. So anyway, Halle Berry is sent on a last-ditch mission to the moon after an unexplained incident threatens the Earth. It's released on February the 4th. That's when it's going to be released by Lionsgate. The same actor who plays Ed Warren in the Conjuring movies is the lead actor here, along with Halle Berry. It's a budget of $140 million. So this is not a shabby. This is not a low budget movie. 140 million. That they spent some money on this. So it's a budget of 140 million. Moonfall is one of the most expensive independently produced films of all time. So let me just tell you. Hold on. I'll get that in just a second. The action begins when a mysterious force knocks the moon from its orbit and sends it hurtling on a collision course with Earth. Now, with mere weeks before impact and the world is on a brink of annihilation, NASA executive and former astronaut Jo Fowler is convinced she has the key to saving humanity, but only one astronaut from her past and conspiracy theorists believe her. Now, these unlikely heroes embark on a futile expedition into space, leaving behind everyone they love, only to find that they might have prepared for the wrong mission. So it doesn't say where it was filmed, not for sure, but there we go. Check it out, Moonfall 2022 movie. You may want to check out the trailer. Honestly, the trailer looked pretty decent. It looked pretty decent. So I don't know. There we go. There's actually theories. For those of you who don't know, oh boy, the Amityville horror. But let me just say this. For those of you who don't know, there are theories that there is something going on behind the dark side of the moon, because there's a part of the moon where we do not see, because as it rotates this way, we really don't see behind the moon, the dark side. And there are theories, again, that there are other countries who are already building a moon base for nefarious reasons. So there we go. You can take that. You can take that as it is. You can run with it, or you can say that's ridiculous. The Amityville Horror House. I don't know about that, because there are a lot of theories. There's a lot of arguments that it was a big con because George Lutz, the alleged theory is that George Lutz contacted his attorney friend and that George could not make the payment. His business just didn't do well, and he couldn't make the mortgage payment, and they fell behind on the mortgage. And so they were drinking one night, allegedly, and they just said, hey, look, let's just say it was haunted and to get out of our mortgage. And because they didn't tell us it was haunted, we'll just say it was haunted. And that's how they either going to make a lot of money or get out of the mortgage. So that is a theory that some people have said. I don't know. I've heard both arguments, and both are very compelling, for and against. But there does seem to be a lot of people who are not big fans of the Amityville situation, and so I can understand. Yeah, I can understand the arguments on both sides. I can. So there we go. And to some people, hunting in Connecticut. Now, I do believe that, absolutely. Yeah, because I know the mother. I know her, and she's the individual that she's not the type that goes around and lying and all that stuff. She's a very, very cool person, and yeah, I do absolutely believe that was a legitimate, 100% legitimate case, because I've spoken to her, and so yeah. By the way, for those of you who are on in Florida, you might want to keep this in mind. I would love to go. I'm just so disappointed because I'm not going. Horrorville. Horrorville brings paranormal fun, celebrity guests to Cocoa in Florida. So if you guys are in Florida, well, listen to this. An event taking place Saturday and Sunday at Space Coast Convention Center. First of all, I'm very jealous on a couple of things. Number one, it's a conference, which is really, really cool. And number two, I think it's near maybe the Space Center, and if it is, I'm even more jealous of this, because I definitely want to go to Kennedy Space Center. That is absolutely on my bucket list. No question at all. This is from the Graham Medium Group, and this is what it says here. If you're in Florida, or if you have nothing to do and you want to go to a conference, well, in Cocoa, Florida, a horror and paranormal event is heading to Cocoa this weekend, bringing celebrity guests and contest. Now, the Horrorville Convention will be taking place at the Space Coast Convention Center in Cocoa Saturday and Sunday. Now, according to the event's website, which I'll give it, there will be vendors, a costume contest, paranormal demonstrations, and a lot more. The convention has a lineup of celebrity guests, including Mark Patton, who starred in A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Autograph and photo opportunities are available for purchase. By the way, tickets are available for online purchase until 11:59 Thursday, well, January 20th, for a single day tickets or a 2-day pass, but you can contact them. Children under 10 can enter the event for free with a paid adult admission. So for those of you who do not know about this, because a lot of people don't, again, that's okay. It's Horrorville. It's a paranormal fun. Let me give you their website, because some of you may not know who they are, and you might want to go this weekend. Well, it's Horrorville. It's HORROR Ville, VILLE, horrorvillecon.com. Now, I don't know who these people are, so I can't tell you anything about if I don't know. So I'm just all I'm doing is passing on the information, and I contacted them and I told them that I would during my show. You guys can check it out, and whatever you think, if you're in the area, we'll check them out and go. So it's Horrorville, HORROR Ville, VILLE, con, CON.com. horrorvillecon.com. It's there. You're going tomorrow. Oh, excellent. Well, congratulations, Sick. That's great. Well, Mr. Head 03 says, I'm going to be honest, I don't believe anything paranormal. I'm not afraid of demons. Well, understand that the paranormal is not all demons. And that's one of the reasons why I love the paranormal so much, because they're absolutely, without question, there is evidence that has been captured. I've captured it. I personally have captured evidence that I cannot explain logically, that is absolutely paranormal in nature. Now, I'm not talking about demons. That's different. Demons is theological. Demons has nothing to do with the paranormal. Nothing to do with it. And people always put demonology in with the paranormal. That's a mistake. Demonology is theological. That has nothing to do with the paranormal. Paranormal is things that I would describe: ghosts, spirits, Bigfoot, vampires, werewolves, Mothman. I mean, these are paranormal. That's not demons. That's a completely different thing altogether. But so I understand that. So yeah, horrorvillecon.com and check them out. I mean, you may like it. I would hopefully. I'll be over at the Hanover Paracon here tomorrow. Ashley's on YouTube is seeing that. Oh, well, that's wonderful. Well, I would love to know. Ashley, I would love to know if you have a website or if you know the people who's in charge, because I'll post it on here. That way people can know too. It's always good. I have no problem promoting or letting people know, hey, if you're in Hanover, I guess it's Hanover, Indiana. I'm not really sure. But if you are in this area, they have a paranormal convention. So, if you have nothing planned this weekend, well, now you do. So, Ashley Herndon, do me a favor. Yeah. Well, actually, do it here, Ashley, if you would, on YouTube. Just post it on the comments. Oh, it's in Virginia, Hanover, Virginia. Okay. Well, Ashley, if you know their website, if you can just post it there in the chat, and then I'll just put it up on the screen. That way people know. Again, I have no problems at all promoting people and letting people know if there's a convention going on. Absolutely. Well, why not? There's no, Okay. Okay. Sure. Absolutely. Ashley. Where would you suggest if you are being, what's this? Where would you suggest if you are being harassed by spirits? Well, when you're talking about if you're being harassed, if you're being attacked, you got to be specific as far as being harassed. And here's why: because demons harass you, and malevolent spirits can harass you. But malevolent spirits are not able to manifest enough energy to push heavy objects towards you or pick you up and throw you clear across the room. Where demonic entities, they have no problem; they're quite capable of doing this. So when you say harass, you have to you would have to be very clear as far as what's happening. That way, we can all determine as a community to say, well, it sounds like this, it sounds like that. Because what I love about this show and this little community that we have all built, this is our community, is that there are so many people from so many different walks of life that if someone has a problem, I can say, hey, look, this problem is, this person is saying they're having this issue in their home, and we can gather together and we can kind of throw out some theories, some ideas. There's nothing wrong with, I think that collaboration is something that's so helpful, and I think it's right to do, and it's necessary. So when you say harassed, if you can be a little more, and you might have been specific, I'm sorry, I was talking, I don't know what, but you might want to be as specific as you can, so then we can kind of go from there. Shannon Long 30, we're not closing out the show yet, folks, but before I do, are you going to go live Shannon Long 30? And hello there, Alpha Omega Male. Just let me know if you're going to go 30. We'll let people know that as well. Oh, Scarefest. I love Scarefest. I've been to Scarefest several times. I hadn't gone. I didn't go last year. I don't know when the last time I went. I want to see it maybe 2000. I don't know if it was 17, 18. I'm not really for sure. Or 15. I'm sorry. I don't know. But yeah, I love Scarefest. Scarefest is great in Lexington, Kentucky. I'd love to go back. I would. I have so much fun at Scarefest in Lexington. So much fun. And but yeah, if I would love to go back to Scarefest. All right. Angel. Let's see. Oh, Shannon Long 30 is going. Angel, mod me so I can help Shannon, please. Angel Shannon, are we modding Angel 5367? Remember, we do moddings on TikTok before the show starts, so that I don't have to stop the show in the middle of the show. So Shannon Long 30, if you yes. I guess we're saying yes. Just okay. Sorry, everybody. I know people get frustrated when I have to stop the show to add a moderator, but these moderators help us a lot on TikTok, a lot, and they're a blessing. They're a true blessing, because Lord knows we need it. Oh, they didn't have anything last year. Okay, due to COVID. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, I would love it. I would love to go to Scarefest. So yeah, if you know anybody who's in Scarefest, administrator, tell them to contact me. I'd love to go there. They have Spooky Empire here in Tampa. Very cool. Okay. Yeah. And by the way, I don't know if I missed something. Yeah, Ashley's okay. Ashley, sorry, it just scrolls so fast. Sometimes it's easy to miss it. Okay, so let me kind of go over here and go for there. Okay, what is a Benedictine? Well, a Benedictine is an individual. A Benedictine is an individual who accepts the Benedictine rule and who is of prayer and work and who's devoted his or her life to serving as a Benedictine. And so that's what I am a Benedictine. I studied with the Benedictines, and but prayer and work is pretty pretty strict. It's very, very strict, especially in the prayer. Well, prayer and work, but it's a Benedictine spirituality. So you can contact me. Send me a message on Facebook, facebook.com/Bishop James Long. Make sure it's that account. Yeah, Brownie, Brownie 6942. I don't mod anybody unless my sister Shannon Long 30 lets me know. That she's the one who's in charge of all the moderators. Okay. Let's see. Someone asked me about pareidolia. Okay, pareidolia. What is pareidolia? Well, a pareidolia is a. Have you ever seen a situation? And this happens a lot, especially in the paranormal community. And I'll tell you why. When we die, what happens? Corey, I'll get that. Remind me. I'll get that. Pareidolia is, for example, let's say you see something, and you are able to see an image. Like maybe you're walking down on a forest or on a path in the woods, and you see a tree. But in this tree, darn it, you know that you're seeing a face. You can clearly see the eyes. There's the eyes, there's the mouth, there's the nose. It's right there. Now, some people won't be able to see it. Some people can. That's called pareidolia. And so, or the clouds. That's a perfect example. Let's say that you're looking up in the clouds and one person says, "Oh, there's a moon." Or the other person says, "There's a cow." And you're like, "A cow? I don't see a cow." So that's what that is. Okay. And it's all about how you perceive things. Some people cannot, some people can, and so that's what that is. All right. Oh, you're interested in the monastic life? Well, good. Well, yeah, you can contact me as well. That'd be great. Scariest case. Oh yeah, I'll talk about that. Now, someone was asking me another question. Dag nabbit, and I was going to mention it, but I said, "Oh, you die. What happens when we die?" Okay, that's a good question, and then I'm going to get to the scariest case I've had. Okay, I had the opportunity. I've said this before. I've had the opportunity to speak to the world's leading expert in near-death experience. Now, this individual, his name is Dr. Jeffrey Long. He's not related to me, but he is a medical doctor, and he has the largest website of near-death experience cases that it's documented, and it's amazing. As a matter of fact, I had a near-death experience, and I'll tell you that in just a second. The belief and by the way, the website is ndrf.org. ndrf.org. That's the website. It's a huge website. It has over 3,000 cases of people who were clinically dead, and they came back and they told what happened. These are, and people say, "Well, no, that's just the brain shutting down." No, it's not, because these are individuals who've had cases. There was one case where a woman, and she was correct. She was on the operating table, and something happened. She flatlined. She felt herself go up and leave her body. She saw her body, but she wasn't frightened. She wasn't scared. She has full consciousness. She was fully aware. She was so aware that when she rose above the machine, so there was a machine above her body, it had serial numbers. Now, this is documented. And I had Dr. Long on my show, so I talked to him about this, and there were serial numbers, not a huge lot, but on top of this machine. She was able to memorize. It wasn't a whole lot long. She was able to memorize these numbers, and when she came back to her body, she kept saying those numbers. She kept repeating it, 35789, whatever it is. And the doctor was like, well, why do you keep repeating 37859, whatever? And they would write it down because they thought, okay, this is kind of, and finally, when she was consciousness, when she came back, the doctor kept saying, yeah, you kept saying 37589 or whatever it was. And she said, yeah, that is the number that I saw on that machine, because when I left my body, I actually saw that number. They checked the machine. The numbers that she said were the same numbers that were on this machine. That is not the brain shutting down, folks. That is actually proof that there is life after this. And it was powerful. I mean, it was it was so powerful. But there have been cases, literally, the God's Not Dead movie. There have been cases very similar to this, where people left their body and they actually went down. They traveled to the chapel, which was the second floor or first floor or whatever it was, and they were with the family. And there was one case that was amazing. The woman actually left when she passed. She flatlined. Her family went outside to smoke, and they were congregating outside, and they got into an argument because one person wanted to cremate her and the other person wanted to bury her, and they were arguing outside because she didn't have a will. And so they were really getting into it with each other. And but then one of the nurses came out and said, you need to get back in here, and she's got a rhythm, or she's got, well, I don't terminology. So they got back in, and they were able to stabilize her. And when she came to, she said, you guys got to stop. I don't want you yelling at each other anymore about this. And at that moment, she said, this is my will, and I want you to write it down. Folks, that right there is 1,000,000% proof. 1,000,000% proof that there is something after this. I mean, when you have cases like that, you just can't, you can't deny it. You can't deny it. And I don't know. It's very fascinating to me. It's very fascinating. And you can, I don't know, you can only, what are you going to say? And so there we go. But I thought that was very interesting. Okay. So anyway, just wanted to pass that on. That was very, very, very interesting. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Well, right. Well, but we don't know Lazarus. People are talking about Lazarus. We don't know exactly what Lazarus experienced after. We have no idea. I mean, that's simply not written down what happened after he was killed, or after he died. Not killed, after he died. We don't know. We don't know what he experienced, but we do have documentation that tells us that people have clinically died, and they have seen, some describe seeing hell, and some describe seeing heaven. And so, I don't know. It's pretty, very interesting. Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. Bishop, I love your paranormal TikToks where you duet an occurrence the user captured. Yeah, I do. I love doing that too. I love watching videos so that people have captured and then discuss it if I can, and make a comment. That's pretty cool. Oh yes, absolutely. I think we absolutely reunite with our pets. No question. I firmly believe that at all. I just well, thank you very much. Okay. Time travelers, I'm not a big, there's a person who claims to be on time traveler on social media, and he claims certain things are going to happen. And I'm like, okay. And when they don't, then there's going to be some lame excuses as to why they didn't. So, Scariest. There we go. Scariest. Okay. Honestly, I've talked about this several times. The scariest place that I have ever been to, without question, would be the Gates of Hell Cemetery. That is the scariest place I've ever been to in my life. And I've said this also, it makes Bobby Mackey's look like Walt Disney World. This place is no joke. And what people don't know about this place was in Kentucky. And I've talked about this as well. No one knew this place even existed It's an old abandoned cemetery. It's off the beaten road. You literally have to go off the road and travel several miles, winding road, just to get to this cemetery. So no one in the paranormal community even knew it existed. And about 18 years ago or so, my team said, let's go investigate this. But they were trying to find old abandoned places that nobody ever wrote about or talked about or anything. And so I had a radio show on at that time, and I said, okay, let's go. So we investigated this place, and literally all hell broke loose in this place. There's a lot of satanic rituals performed there. It is a very small cemetery, and it's like a horseshoe-shaped fence around it. And there's hundreds of big trees around the cemetery. And there's one path in and the same path out. And I mean, literally all hell broke loose in this place. And it was terrifying. It was terrifying. And we came back, we went on air the next day, we talked about it. And I said, man, this is like the gates of hell. And immediately someone said, that's it. We're going to start calling this the Gates of Hell Cemetery in Kentucky. And I still have the recording. That is how the Gates of Hell Cemetery in Kentucky got its name. And because I went on television, on all the networks, on National Geographic and Travel Channel and History and all this, and I talked about the Gates of Hell because I wanted people to stay away from it. And I mean, it was one of the most violent places, I think, ever that I've ever been to. Is that the same cemetery in Louisville where they film Return of the Living Dead? Oh, no. That's actually, they actually film Return of the Living Dead at Cave Hill Cemetery. Cave Hill Cemetery is beautiful. Oh, my dear God. And it's very expensive. I mean, it really is incredibly. I mean, it is. If you ever go to Louisville, if you're a paranormal, I imagine most of you are paranormal fans. I would strongly encourage you, if you ever go to Louisville, go to and visit Cave Hill Cemetery. By the way, it's where Colonel Sanders is buried too. But Cave Hill Cemetery, it is beautiful. I mean, unbelievably gorgeous. It's old. And that's where they actually filmed one of the scenes of the Return of the Living Dead, the movie. But here's what's interesting, Frank. Frank asked this on Facebook. What's very interesting also is that right next door to, and this is crazy, but right next door, literally, I mean, you got like a small wall separating. Right next door to Cave Hill Cemetery is Eastern Cemetery. Now, what's so weird about that is you have Cave Hill Cemetery that cost a lot of money, and I mean, it's $25,000 maybe a plot. I mean, that's what we're talking about. It's not cheap, and they have mausoleum there. I mean, big bucks. So you have one cemetery here, and literally on the opposite wall, you have Eastern Cemetery in Louisville. What makes Eastern Cemetery so really, really eerie is that this is a cemetery, you can do a Google search on it. This is a cemetery where the caretaker actually buried people on top of one another. Not only did he do that, but he would also take and bury and dig up where people were buried. He would take the coffins out. He would toss them literally in a ravine, and then he would resell the entire plot to another family. It was unbelievable. Yeah. Google that. Eastern Cemetery caretaker. Yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible what he did. And that is actually one of the places where I got an EVP. It was a very eerie EVP. Let me see if I have it. I don't know. If I do, I'll play it so you guys can hear it. And Eastern Cemetery, there it is. Hold on, everybody. I'm gonna see if I can find it. I have so many. Let me just turn this up. What is this? That's EVP. Eastern Cemetery. Okay. Do you know who I am? This is an Eastern Cemetery, and I'll get back to the Gates of Hell in just a second, because I'm going to play a EVP at the Gates of Hell. But this is at Eastern Cemetery, and I was just walking by. It's the only, I think, crypt there, above ground. The only above ground crypt, and it's like, I think they had cremation inside this. And it was during the day, and I had my recorder, and I just wanted to know if it could say my name, James, or Bishop Long, whatever. And I said, "Do you know who I am?" Meaning Bishop James Long, yes or no? And I got this answer.
Do you know who I am?
Oh, I'm telling you now. I did not hear it. I did not hear it was not a disembodied voice. A disembodied voice is when you actually can hear something clearly. You can hear it. I heard it when I went back to the car and I plugged it up, and this was a EVP. So let me play this again. Do you know who I am?
Do you know who I am?
Now, I kept hearing it, and I kept playing it over and over. And I had my noise canceling headset, turned it up all the way, and I can hear Seth. That is what I can hear. Now, of course, Seth is also, one of Cain, Adam and Eve's son. So the people immediately say, "Oh, it's the devil." No, it's Seth, Seth. But it's interesting. It's very, very interesting. And thank you very much. Oh, well, look, thank you very much for the gifts. I appreciate that. Let's see. Hold on.
We are literally standing next to the safety of the car.
Okay. Hold on 1 second.
Next to the safety.
I don't know. This was also at the Eastern Cemetery. There was no disembodied voice. Nothing. But me and my buddy Steve-O was there. It was late at night, and we were by the crematorium where the obviously cremated people. But we didn't feel. Normally, we never felt threatened there. But that night, it was around midnight or so. We really felt threatened. We did not feel comfortable, and that was really weird because normally it's always a quiet place, and no big deal. This was different. Now, I had my digital recorder out. I want to make this sure you guys understand this. We heard nothing. There was no noise, nothing. It was complete dead silence. So when I was talking, we didn't hear anything. Okay, so you have to understand that. But listen to this.
We are literally standing next to the safety of the car. I don't feel that it is safe at this point in time to move away from the car at the moment.
Now, what's really interesting, Seth means the anointed in Latin. That's interesting. What's very interesting is people say, well, it's an owl. No, we would have heard it. That's loud. That was loud. We didn't hear any of it. It was, the only thing we heard is crickets. So we heard nothing else. We heard nothing else except for crickets. Okay. Julius is asking, good question. What's the difference between a disembodied voice and a disembodied voice is when you're doing EVP work. Is anyone here? Can you make a noise? What's your name? If you hear a response, what's your name? John, Sam, Melinda, whatever. If you hear it with your ears, that's called a disembodied voice. You actually hear it, and you're also, and the digital recorder is going to record it too. Now, an EVP is electronic voice phenomenon, and the reason this is called phenomenon because you don't hear it with your ears. It's not, you can't hear. There's nothing. You hear nothing. So you have the recorder. Is there anyone here? What's your name? Whatever. And you go back, you play it, and then you have a response, even though you didn't hear it, but it's responding to you. It's talking to you. The theory is because the digital recorder is able to pick up sound frequency that our ears are not able to. And so therefore, the theory is that's why these digital recorders can pick up these different frequencies that a spirit may communicate with us. Now, I can't say that EVPs exist because I've had, this was a perfect example. I mean, there was not a disembodied voice. I didn't hear that screech, but when I played it back, I heard it. And that was pretty crazy. Yeah. Oh, you live in the Appalachian Mountains. Yeah. Well, see, again, this was in the city. So I'm in the city, and because it's not like in a country or anything like that, and you can hear the crickets, and we heard nothing. Absolutely, we felt very uncomfortable, but we did not hear anything at all. So that's now the Gates of Hell Cemetery. This is one of the most eerie EVPs I've ever captured, ever. So friends of mine, 3 friends of mine, actually Bishop David Price was one of them. And Bishop David is one of those individuals. He's very logical, very analytical, and he doesn't believe everything is demonic either. But we went to this place, the Gates of Hell. We went all the way back to the tree where satanic rituals are performed, which, by the way, that is where I took this from. This was used in a satanic ritual. There was an altar. There were animals that had been just sacrificed. There were some candles on top, or a candle on top, and I took this away, and I destroyed the disgusting altar there, because obviously it's an altar to Satan, and there was an animal that had been recently sacrificed, and so we went to this tree in the back of the cemetery, and it was around midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And it was in the middle of summer. And everything got quiet. When we walking to this tree, the crickets were making their noise. I mean, it's in the country. And the crickets were making this horrible screeching. I mean, they were really loud. And then it just got really quiet. The top of the trees were swaying back and forth. But we didn't feel any wind where we were. We felt nothing. And we saw shadow people running around the trees, hundreds of them. And it looked like they were closing in on us. So we said, it's time to go. We're not going to stick around. We're not here to perform the minor rite of exorcism. We're not here to provoke. It's time to go. So we went out of the exit, and one of the people turned, and it was a full moon. And there's a big tree right in the front. And there's a moon right behind the tree. And he turned around the flashlight, and he shined this flashlight on this tree. Even to this day, we don't know what it is, but Bishop David Price will tell you the same thing. We all saw this massive creature. I've talked about this before. Many people, I've talked many times, many people think I saw Mothman. I don't know, but it looked like a massive bat. That's what it looked like to me. A long torso. It had a bat head. It had a human kind of a torso. And the claws were right. It was so bright we could actually see the claws. The wings were huge wingspan, and I mean he filled up the entire tree. And his eyes were solid. I mean they were bright red. He was looking right down at us. He didn't make a noise, but we knew that if we had stepped 1 foot closer, 1 foot, we knew that would have been it. It would have been over. And we got out of there pretty quick. That was something that. It was Batman. I tell you what, I wish it was Batman, because even to this day, I don't know what it was, and it drives me crazy. And we were there, and we did a recording, EVP work. And I said, "Is there anyone here? Are you angry?" Now, this is not a disembodied voice, but we got an answer.
Is there anyone here? Are you friendly?
I don't think this was friendly. But I tell you what, when I listened to that, I listened to it back, and that was like, oh my goodness, this is truly one of the best EVPs I've ever captured in my entire experience being in the paranormal. And yeah, it was that place. I tell people, stay away from it. Stay away. Don't get involved because you're going to get hurt. It is a place that you definitely want to stay away from it because it's bad news. Bad news. Okay, and also I want to again remind everybody, please do not forget, make sure you go to kgradb.com, kgradb.com, and make sure you subscribe. Again, they have some amazing shows there, truly amazing. And subscribe, and when you do subscribe, make sure you put Bishop there, because you're going to get 30% off your subscription. And it's already affordable as it is, but why not save 30% off? So again, KGRAD as in dog, db.com. And definitely, absolutely make sure you check that out. Also, I'm going to be teaching on near-death experience this Sunday. And so you can go to universitymagicus.com, and you can scroll down there and you can purchase your tickets. It's an online thing. And so you can do that, University Magicus. And so we can kind of go from there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, see, that's a people debate shadow people versus apparitions of light. Like people refer to apparitions of light as, and some are 100% against, the little lights that will come, and people say, how much of the spirit orbs. A lot of people refer to apparitions of light, orbs, as apparitions of light. And many people, many people who dismiss orbs altogether, because orbs can be, you can look at it and you can say, okay, that can be debunked. And a lot of orbs are debunked. However, when you see a shadow person, a full body apparition, as far as a person, it may be transparent. You can't see all the details, but you can clearly see that as a person. That's a big difference, because an orb you can easily dismiss, easily. But when you see a shadow person full body and there's no one else around, that's a bit more complicated. So yeah, I'm a bishop. Yeah. Okay. By the way, for those of you, remember, don't forget, if you want, you can visit me on the web at bishopjameslong.com, bishopjameslong.com. And if you do have an iPad, contact me. I'll buy it, but just as long as it's not $1 million. But you can facebook.com. That's always facebook.com/Bishop James Long. That's always the best way to reach me. Facebook.com/Bishop James Long. Also, stick around to this KGRADB. Make sure you stick around, because Andrea Perrin is up next. Andrea, she's great. And of course, also on TikTok, Shannon Long 30 is going live. So you got to make sure you check her out too. I tell you guys this all the time. Your value does not decrease based on someone's inability or refusal to see your worth. You're priceless, and never let anyone tell you otherwise. I'll see you guys next week. God bless. The Sacred Division has been brought to you by Bishop Long's online paranormal course. Learn demonology, angelology, paranormal studies, and genealogy. It's 100% online, and you learn at your own pace. Please go to www.bishopjameslong.com and click on the paranormal course link.